জন্য তাক তাক জন্য তাক তাক
Having you around, you watch me fall apart time and time again. Couldn't lose you in the end. But if you call my name, it'll be okay. I'm never gonna leave without you. I'm never gonna leave without you. The sound of my heart beating now. I'm never gonna leave without you. I'm never gonna leave without you. Wishing we could rewind. I wanna leave it all behind. You watch me fall apart time and time again. Couldn't lose you in the end. But if you call my name, it'll be okay. I'm never gonna leave without you. I'm never gonna leave without you. The sound of my heart beating now. I'm never gonna leave without you. I'm never gonna leave without
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I got to put my blanket away. Ugh, just forgot to get that out of there. All right. Hi, everyone. Hello. All right. Let me fix this a bit. I kind of moved some things around. So now I got to make sure everything is in the proper, it's proper alignment. Okay. There we go. That's good enough. Whatever. Who cares? All right. Hello, folks. So happy Saturday for those out there in the world. Um, let's see here. Who do we got? Who do we got here? It is Saturday. Is everyone excited? I know I am. Even though I am working today, but still, I enjoy it. Okay, let's see. Who do we got here? Who do we got? We got Jay Shadow, the first one in here. Well, yeah, you better be Jay Shadow. You got to catch up with these lessons. I saw how you did yesterday on that Kahoot. Hello, Diego. How you doing, Diego? Uh, all right. Personality. Diego, I think you're a great person. I love your usernames, etc. I'm not sure what your real name is, but I always call you Diego because of the first username you had here. Death died today. Hello, Death died today. Glad to see you here. Um, I don't, is that a good thing or a bad thing that you exist today? Death died today because I know that's how I feel sometimes. Doug, hello, Doug. Woot woot. Absolutely. Tiago's here. Hey, Tiago. Tiago, you were in our quiz yesterday. You were in our quiz. Hello, AMA Gaming. Hello. Hello, AMA Gaming. Demosthenes. Hello, Demosthenes. Who else? Who else? Who else? Pizza. Yes, pizza. I know. I heard about that. They're thinking of making a coin with Trump's face on it. I think it was Meowzord actually that posted an image of what the coin might end up looking like. Vomit. Vomit. Nightmare fuel. Okay. I do know about the Diddy case, Diego. Okay, Meowzord, have fun with the in-laws, etc. And thank you for leaving the stream open for the views. Um, okay. There's a Kirk coin too, Doug. Are you kidding me? I mean, come on. Why am I surprised? Though, really, like, what we really need is we need a coin or or a bill with Harriet Tubman on it. But they'll never do that, probably, right? I think you all know why. Um, Pizza. Hello, I'm good. I just went to it, the Taubman MVA, and oh my god, that sounds amazing. Pizza. There's a coffee festival going on right now in Columbus, which is what I'm near, and I would love to go to it, but I've just been too lazy to get up and go. But that sounds amazing. What's a Taubman pizza? What is the Taubman though? The Latino food festival I can guess, but hello Mithril. Hello Mithril. Victoria. Hello Victoria. You do, Tiago. You do have to see the last stream. Toy, are you telling Tiago about what happened in the last stream? Okay. Uh, um, and maybe it is E Crystal. I could be wrong. Welcome, E Crystal. By the way, it could be satirical. I hope not. I mean, I hope it is. Oops, I phrased that badly. I hope it's satirical. I saw someone posted an image of what looked like a Trump coin. It could be fake, but yeah, hopefully it's not. Um, uh, Death died today. Oh, have they? Oh, okay. Death died today. You got to tell us about it. Okay, guys. So it's Saturday. It's Saturday. It's Saturday, right? It's Saturday. So we're not going to go too crazy. We are going to talk a little bit about what's happening in Gaza. Okay, okay, Victoria. All right. Um, exactly, Mithril. But see, Mithril, that is why I have the tea here. This is black tea with rose petals in it, imported from China. It probably had a steep tariff on it now, but I got it before the tariffs. But yes, I probably should have coffee more often. Okay. Okay, so Charlie Kirk is really there really is an act to get Charlie Kirk on there. Hopefully, the Trump coin is a fake thing. Alan, so unfortunately, welcome, Alan. Fortunately, it was too good to be true. At least 46 people. Yeah, read about that, Alan. They what dropped 3 bombs on Gaza. Um. Uh. Trump is saying Hamas needs to act quickly. I will not tolerate delay. Okay. In reference to releasing the hostages, someone must have made a phone call to Trump. Yeah. Yeah, Alan. That's pretty horrific. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do today, okay, is first we're gonna talk about something that's light. It's kind of light, but not really light. So basically that was a meaningless thing I just said. We're gonna talk a little bit about bonobos and chimpanzees. Why the fuck are we doing that? Casual revolt. Why are we doing that? Because hello, Robert. Okay. Um, gotcha, Doug on the left. Okay. We are doing that because bonobos and first of all, two reasons. One, um, what's her face? Jane Goodall died a few days ago, and she was a pioneer in the field of studying these primates. And she also was a great, just a really good person. Did a lot of good conservation work for the environment and stuff. Secondly, a- uh, chimpanzees and bonobos are humans' closest ancestors or closest relatives in terms of other animals. Okay. And one of the things that got me super interested in anthropology and humanity in general was primatology, reading about other primates, because boy, do we have some similarities. So while we're doing this, hello, Luke. So while we're doing this, think about how it might apply to humans. Okay. Again, these are our closest living relatives on the planet today. Okay. Especially bonobos, Victoria. Yeah, okay. All right. So let's get into that. And then we will talk a little bit about what's happening over in Gaza. I also have some community announcements, things to talk about that I will be talking about. And then we'll do some Discord reactions. So, um, right, death die. Okay, fair death die today. Fair, okay. So first of all, folks, if we get one super chat, just one, I'll put on the jester hat. If we get two more after that, jester collar. If we get up to five, I'll put on the jester makeup. Yeah, absolutely, Luke. Rest in peace, Jane Goodall. Goodall. Guy, I can't speak today. It's okay. And then if we get up to 10, I will either do a Q&A where you can ask me whatever you want, or a second stream. I'll take a poll on it. Okay. So just be aware of that. Also, let me do my little spiel here. Please don't leave yet. Okay. In the lower left hand corner is a QR code. If you want to send me something through Buy Me a Coffee, you can do it through there. And that'll count towards our goal. If you're over on Twitch, sending a 200 bits over on Twitch will count towards the goal. And if you're over on Twitch and you want to subscribe, you can do so for free by clicking through Amazon Prime, or you can just subscribe normally. That would be very helpful. And follow, please, if you're watching. Okay. And also, everyone, please like the stream. Drop what you're doing now and like the stream. Luke, you're my hero. Thank you, Luke. Okay. So we're automatically putting on the jester hat, which is perfect. Thank you, Luke. Thank you very much, Luke. Okay. This is good. This is good. Okay. All right. So thank you very much, Luke. Let me change the super chat goal here now. Start another goal. So again, it's going to be 5, but we only need 2 for the jester hat. And then uh okay, jester collar uh would be 2, and then at 4 we'll do the makeup. Okay. All right. So forgive me, folks. Give me a second here. Makeup. Trying to make that dough here to survive. Makeup is 4. Okay, perfect. Done. 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 We can start now. Um, okay. Let us begin, shall we? So, uh, yes, Mithril. I love Jane Goodall. She kind of inspired, partially, like her work kind of inspired me to get into anthropology. Um, yeah, primatology is amazing. It's such a fascinating field of study, a study of primates, for those who don't know. So let's talk a little bit of primatology today, shall we? Okay. And again, folks, this is all very relevant to us because we are very closely related to these animals. All right. So let's go. So chimpanzees and bonobos, humanity's closest relatives. So if you're more interested to learn more about this, I posted these in our Discord resources page channel, excuse me. You can join our Discord. It is linked. It's pinned at the top of the YouTube chat. Just click on the link there. You can join it. We have our community is growing very fast. We have like 131 people there now. Like it's been a couple months and we already have like 130 some people. So please join over there. Great community. I'm sure many of you could verify that it is a good community. I got a very nice message yesterday in my messages complimenting our community and how it's the nicest community this person's ever been in, et cetera. So highly recommend you join. Okay. And also, if you do join the Discord, you can recommend things for me to react to on stream. Okay, so here are two really good books. Franz de Waal is a really good primatologist. There, I have some complaints about him, but he is a very good primatologist. He wrote a book, this one called Tree of Origin: What Primate Behavior Can Tell Us About Human Social Evolution. Super interesting book. And then on the right here is a book by Jane Goodall. It's called The Chimpanzee: The Living Link Between Man and Beast. She is as always, Jane Goodall, great writer, uh, brilliant lady, okay, and great human being. It's a shame she passed away. So we're doing this in honor of her. Okay, so before we begin, let's chat a little bit. And so I mean, we are chatting. That's what we're gonna do. I don't even okay, not before we begin. Okay, so human beings are up here, right? So if you look here, this is a phylogeny tree. It absolutely, Alan. We share over 90% of our DNA with chimpanzees and bonobos. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. So here we are up here in in the upper right hand corner. You can see that we all share a common ancestor. So back here, like long time ago, about 60 million years ago, all of these primates shared a common ancestor. You will sometimes hear people say, human beings came from monkeys, or I'm sorry, human beings like came from chimpanzees or something like that. They did not. We did not come from chimpanzees. We did not come from gorillas. We have a common ancestor. Okay, we are very closely related to primates, especially chimpanzees and bonobos, followed by gorillas, then orangutans. Okay, but it's not like we evolved from like monkeys, if you know what I mean. Like it's complicated, but we share a common ancestor. Okay. And so here we are up here. The closest relatives are chimpanzees and bonobos. Okay. And so let's go here. So just a little side note here. This is a pet peeve of mine. So please forgive me for doing this to all of you. Uh, if it has a tail, it's a monkey. Okay. If it doesn't have a tail, it's an ape. So I don't know why it always gets on my nerves when someone calls an ape a monkey. We're like, oh, look at that gorilla. It's such a cute monkey. No, that's an ape. So to tell the difference between a monkey and an ape, if it has a tail, this is just a quick way to do it. There are other differences, but the easiest way to tell is if it has a tail, it's a monkey. Okay. So again, if it has a tail, it's a monkey. If it doesn't have a tail, it's an ape. Okay? It doesn't really matter. It's just a pet peeve of mine. And I also will say this, folks. I cannot, I do not, this is just a personal thing. I'm scared to death of apes. I don't want to be near an ape. Yes, they're cool, etc. But Jane Goodall was much braver than I would be because they're pretty violent, and I'm just scared of apes. Okay, regardless, monkeys are better. I prefer monkeys. So let's not conflate the two. Okay, uh, okay. Um, right. So here we have an example. This is a gibbon. Okay, this is a gibbon. You'll notice, folks, that this gibbon does not have a tail. Therefore, it is an ape. Okay, it's called a lesser ape, but it is an ape. A gibbon is an ape. Okay. Here we have an adore. Look at that little, you're so cute, look at that little baby. This is a baby silver langur. You'll notice, or a baby spider monkey. You notice it has a tail. Therefore, It must be exactly, Goose. You're right. Human beings are apes, which kind of reinforces my point, doesn't it, Goose? I'm scared to death of apes. I should say, I should phrase it as Goose. I am scared to death of non-human apes, and I am scared to death of humans a lot of the time. Okay, let's put it that way. Okay, so uh, okay, yeah, so this is a monkey. It has a tail. Okay, this is a spider monkey. Interesting things. A way you can tell if a monkey is from the old world, so like Africa or Asia, or the new world, which would be South America. You can tell because if it has a prehensile tail, so if it can use its tail to hold on to things, it must be from the new world. Okay, exactly, Alan. That's why we have tailbones because we have a common ancestor. We don't have tails, but we have tailbones. Okay. Here's an example. Again, I'm just trying to really get this in your guys' heads. This is an ape. Okay, no tail. Also terrifying big muscles. It's kind of scary face there. All right. Uh, yeah, Toya. Non-human apes definitely probably better than humans, but still, we're apes too. But okay. Okay, ape. Gorillas are apes. Okay. Now this one can be hard for people. This one can be hard for people. This is a mandrill. This is a mandrill. You can see it has beautiful facial colorations called estrus, which is what you know what, Goose? I don't need that from you, Goose. Okay, I am not going to be put in the same basket as a scary chimpanzee. Though technically Goose, but yes, we are the same. But I should say I'm afraid of non-human apes. Okay, okay, I'll put it that way. And you can tell folks that this is a monkey. Uh, um, how dare you, Goose? Okay. Uh, so this is a monkey. It is not an ape because it has this cute little tail on the back. Okay, monkey, not ape. Okay. All right. So again, just to emphasize this fact, folks, this is a quote from an expert, okay? And it says, apes are scary monsters that can tear your faces off. Monkeys are adorable little things that deserve our respect. And that is a quote from an excellent expert named Casual Revolt. It is verifiable and scientific fact. So just to let you know, okay? Now, yeah, we could quibble with the expert about like mandrills and baboons, which are pretty violent and awful too, even though they're monkeys. But we're not going to do that because this is an expert speaking, and Casual Revolt does say that apes are scary monsters that can tear your face off. Okay. Okay. It does not, Doug. It does not. A vestigial tail does not count. Okay. All right. So now that we have that fact established, I want to show you some images too. Okay. So look at that. Oh, look at the monkey. Look at the cute little monkey. Ooh, monkey. Okay. So look how cute the monkey is. Baby monkey. Oh, look at this monkey. Look at the monkey. It's so cute. Such a cute monkey. I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse here, but I am kind of scared. I know. I'm weak-willed. I'm kind of scared of chimpanzees and gorillas. Look at the cute monkey here. Cute monkey. Oh my god! Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god. Okay, do you see the difference here, folks? That is Miss Crispy Toast. I do not need that from you, Mr. Crispy Toast. I do not need that from you, okay? Here we have an orangutan. Um, Here we have an orangutan, which is an ape, which you can see from the scary mouth. Okay. Anyway, I will get off my high horse here. I actually originally had an image of Trump on the page after this to be like, oh my God, look, these apes are scary. I took it out, or I didn't take it out. I just forgot to add it in. That is not adorable, Doug. What are you talking about? Okay. All right. Okay. There you go. Okay. So, okay. I Goose, no, Goose, no. Bad Goose, okay? And a bad Doug, okay? Anyway, now we will get into the actual content. Now we'll get into the actual content, shall we? All right. So let's talk about chimpanzees, which are apes, okay? And by the way, folks, I know I was beating that over all your heads. I'm really interested in apes. I just don't want to be around them too much. I love bonobos especially. But anyway, so let's talk chimpanzees, shall we? So chimpanzees. Uh, Chimpanzees exhibit sexual dimorphism, which means that males and females have different body structures. Okay. And you can see here, these are chimpanzees and bonobos. The ones on the right, these are chimpanzees. The male is on the left, the female is on the right. Typically, males are larger, have more muscle mass. And females typically are a bit more gracile and have less muscle mass. Bonobos look a little similar. They also, though, have sexual dimorphism, maybe not as much, but chimpanzees, much larger males than females, okay? And, again, you're gonna see here, while you're watching this, try to make comparisons to humans, okay? There are some things that are the same and some things that aren't the same. Um, and so, uh, that's fair, Mithril. Yeah, there are no known apes. Y exact it not as dra correct, Luke, and you're gonna see later, Luke, that that difference in sexual dimorphism is important, okay? Mr. Crispy, how dare you? How dare you, Mr. Crispy? These are not monkeys, okay? Okay. Alright. Okay. So, chimp society. Um, chi Robert, okay. Chimp society. Chimps live in communities, okay, of about 15 to 150. Remember what we talked about when it came to Dunbar's number, okay? Humans can typically live in societies of about 150 before social cohesion starts breaking down. Well, kind of similar with chimpanzees. Totally, pizza. I agree. I think chimpanzees are scarier than gorillas, and you'll all see why here in a bit. But okay, so they live in groups of about 150 at most. Okay, they have this social organization that is called fission fusion. Basically, the size and composition of a group changes as time passes, and animals move throughout the environment. Okay, you can come, you can go. Sometimes they come together as a group. Other times they break apart into smaller groups to hunt or whatever. But chimpanzees have a lot of individual autonomy, especially females. They can just get up and go to another troop if they want to, and this gives them this sort of very fluid social structure. They can kind of move in and out and in and out. Okay. Um, Now then, when it comes to hierarchies, so very similar to humans, apes and definitely primates in general have hierarchies. Political, I guess you could say, social hierarchies. So when it comes to chimpanzees, they are patriarchal. The male chimps can have the most power. Okay. Uh, so you can see here one of these dominant male chimps on the right here. A big boy. Okay. And the males will typically do something where they will literally patrol the territory of their band, like as a war party. They will wage war on neighboring groups of chimps. Okay, they will protect their group members, and they're the ones who go out and hunt and search for food and things like that. Okay, again, look for similarities. Um, Amongst males, there is generally a dominance hierarchy. So you have like the alpha male, the main most powerful male, and then you have a hierarchy beneath that male of other males. Okay, and they kind of are the ones that decide everything, okay? Um, what's interesting about this, folks, is that top-ranking males amongst chimps tend to be aggressive, like very aggressive, even when there is stability in their group. Uh, okay, Mr. Crispy Toast, you are not wrong. I think you see the point I'm trying to make here, okay? They tend to be aggressive even when there isn't something to be aggressive about. Uh, and in So when they're in captivity, research has shown that this is an interesting point. When in captivity, research has shown that male chimps that are less aggressive and engage in more positive social interactions actually tend to live longer. So even though there might be a dominant male, they don't live as long if even though they might have more power, okay? Um and because for the males that don't engage in as much aggression, they can form tighter social bonds with other chimpanzees and work together on things, so they typically live longer. Just an interesting side note there, okay? All right. Now then, again, talking more about this social structure that chimpanzees engage in, it is not unheard of for female chimps to actually band together and fight back against an oppressive male. Okay. Not only that, um, okay, there you go, Robert. Okay. Not only that, a lot of times subordinate males, so males who are not the dominant male, will actually form coalitions to fight back against the dominant male, and they will launch revolts and have almost coups where they will work together to take out the main male. Yeah, or they will have coalitions in order to gain access to females. Um, okay, and there are many cases where these quote unquote subordinate males will actually kill the dominant male when they don't like him or he gets old if they don't like him. Okay. JDH, I didn't say it, you did. I did not say it, you did. JDH says, if I didn't know any better, I think you were describing the red pill alpha male community. Maybe JDH, maybe. Okay. Goose, are those revolts by any chance casual? You know, um, I don't know, Goose. Is that what I implied? I don't know. Maybe. By the way, good framing there, Goose. Are those revolts by any chance casual? Okay, very good. Okay. Um, that's so interesting, Mithril. Yeah, there's a lot of really good TV series about chimpanzees and also monkeys and things like that. There's a lot. Um, um, Yeah, totally, Luke. And that is why, Luke, human beings typically start having issues if they get above 150 members. And same thing with chimpanzees. Okay. So each of these, here's the thing, being an alpha male does increase your reproductive success in amongst chimpanzees. But what also increases your reproductive success is being a subordinate male that forms a coalition with other subordinate males, and something else that increases your reproductive success is being a subordinate male that has a strong bond with the alpha male. Okay. Again, try to find some comparisons between our society and this. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. So, um, I'm gonna read this to you, and then I have a little clip to show you here. I thought this was fascinating, okay? So, a dominant male is unsure if any political maneuvering has occurred in his absence and must reestablish dominance. So, if an alpha male or a dominant male leaves a chimp group and then comes back into it, they're almost always paranoid that they've lost some power, and they're worried that that other chimps have been forming coalitions against them and stuff. So typically when a dominant male comes back into a chimp group, there's a lot of aggression from them. And but in about 5 to 15 minutes after being reunited, they're pretty aggressive. And during these encounters, the dominant male will do like a ton of displays of aggression in order to reassert their dominance. Okay, I'm going to show you a clip of this. So this is an example of what
Attention all. Go to Artlist and start generating cinematic.
A chimpanzee does. This is a dominance display by a male chimpanzee. And folks, again, compare it to our society, okay? Any males you may know out there who do dominance displays, just think about that. So what typically the dominant chimp does is it starts running about making loud hooting noises and breaking branches and just making a big scene. Okay? Asserting its dominance. Sometimes it'll run into other chimps or push them. It doesn't often actually start hurting other chimps. Sometimes it does, but rarely. But okay, so this is a male chimp trying to reassert its dominance.
Now to shed some light on
And forgive the bad narrator here.
everyone's assumptions about the genetic basis for male
JDH.
behavior. In other words, guys like to show off. We just can't help ourselves.
So this is a dominance display. You see he's running around
This
real
group
fast,
of
beating the
chimpanzees
ground.
is exhibiting behavior scientifically known as displaying. This means that males are playing Mr. Big Stuff to show the other males who is top chimp. Now, these
Do we
chimps
see
are
a
unable to wear
similarity
flashy
here,
suits,
folks?
buy a football team, or drive a high-end convertible to show females what they're all about. Instead, they're reduced, or maybe we should say elevated, to this
Oh,
kind
such a
of
man,
display.
right? Such a man.
If you were a female chimp, you would presumably be going wild right now. Yeah, right.
Okay, so that is what one of these displays look like. Yet, Mithril, you're not wrong. Do we remember when Trump was like kind of like stalking the stage around Hillary Clinton? Okay, yeah, like again. All right. Demosthenes. Okay. So that you can see there, that is what they do. Uh, um, they can't stand erect like the alpha of our society. Now, Doug, I will say, chimpanzees can walk bipedally. They just don't do it that often because it's kind of uncomfortable for them, and they prefer to walk on all fours. But yes, they can do bipedal walking. Um, uh, Carlitos, Carlitos, you're right. They did. That was a very fascinating study. Oh, thank you, Tiago. Let me take a look here. Thank you for the coffee, Tiago. Okay. Okay, so Tiago says, if you are a real man. So, folks, yesterday, Tiago, during our quiz, I had a question about Tiago in order to spite him. And this is what he says in response, okay? If you are a real man, you will read this on your live stream. I saw the stream from yesterday, and I have this to say. Fuck you, you little American gay jester. We, the Portuguese, can still kick your American ass with our free healthcare and free education. You are the only ones who use your fucking stupid metric system, and you are the only ones who doesn't condemn Israel and the UN. Also, you know more about guns than geography. I bet you don't know where Turkmenistan or Chad are. By the way, you spelled Chad wrong. I do. Do you know why we? Do you know more about geography? Sorry. Do you know why we know more about geography? Because we use our time not buying guns and we stay in school. We feel safe there. It's normal for us when you have a fucking castle or a fucking aqueduct or the preserved head of a serial killer to study because it was such a strange thing for us that we did that for the future. You can call to talk to me, you can call to me again. And to end this very aggressive text, fuck you, you socialist jester who even can't have a left party on his political system because it's such a broken system that you care more about money than anything else. Okay. There we go. We're done with that. Also, and he says, As for the rest of the chat, I love you all except the ones whom failed the question. It was so obvious. I hope now you will forever know and understand that me and our dear leader have this complicated relationship," which was also spelled wrong. But oh well, people are complicated. Donate, fight for a better world, believe even when it's hard, be good, and join my revolution against Sam. Okay, folks, so there we go. There is Anyway, okay. Thank you, Tiago. Loved it. Okay. So, all right. So one more clip I wanted to show you here, right, folks? Remember how I said that male chimps actually will form bands of warriors and will patrol their territories and go to war with other groups of chimps, okay? Um, and most of the time, folks, this is not about females, which is the case in a lot of animal species. It's just about territory. They just want more territory with more resources on it. Does that sound familiar? Okay, so let's see what it looks like when the chimps go to war. And look at their behavior when you do, folks, because oh my God, do they do a lot of things that are very human. Doug, I'll have you know it doesn't have noodles, okay? I do not do the noodles. This is just white chili, okay? But yes, I have had that news before. Trump failed. Oh, yes. Real fast, folks. JDH, I have heard that. There were some theories. I don't fully buy it, JDH, but I don't know for sure. It's one theory amongst many, that monkeys got high and it made them smart. There is some possibility to that, especially like psychedelic mushrooms, where we don't know for sure. There's other theories I think are more. Um, yeah, thank you. Yeah, yes, exactly, Carlitos. Um, that is one theory. It's not the one I buy into the most, but again, these things are all theoretical because we can't go back then, and that one is a compelling one. Um, it sounds weird, people, but the science on it is interesting. Okay, it's possible, clever. I guess you can call this guerrilla warfare. Very good, JDH. Tiago, yeah, it's right. Okay, Tiago, I'm not kidding though. Like Tiago says, why are we seeing a video of a Trump rally? Guys, because a TPUSA meeting, folks, I cannot tell you after studying like primatology in college, whenever I see like a group of people, like especially men doing some stuff like this, I always just think in my head like like I cannot help it. I cannot help it because watched too many videos of like chimpanzees and gorillas. But yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, totally all right. Okay. So you can see that they do that. All right. Now then, something else that chimps do. Okay. And remember, we're only talking about chimps. They're related to bonobos. They're very close related to bonobos. So a lot of these things bonobos do also, but slightly differently. But we'll talk a little bit about bonobos. But social grooming. So chimpanzees will groom each other in order to reduce conflict between their members. Okay. Like you see an image up here of them doing grooming each other. I know, right? Carlitos, shame Margaret Mead isn't around right now. Okay, they will groom each other as a way to sort of reduce tensions and build connections between people. Okay, but between chimpanzees. Um, okay, totally mithril. Okay, and they also engage in food sharing, and it is thought that food sharing is the origin of kissing amongst humans. Okay. So they will literally have food in one mouth and they'll put it in someone they're grooming's their mouth and as a way of building like a relationship. It's not a sexual thing, but it's a way of building alliances. And human beings do that, do we not? We put our mouths together for certain things. And it kind of creates a dopamine rush in our brains when we do that. And that might be a leftover evolutionary trait from when we used to do food sharing. Okay. So, yeah. So that's something to think about. Um, okay. You can see down here an image of two chimpanzees doing some food sharing. All right. Now, this is the big discovery that Jane Goodall made. Okay. Right, Tiago Ditto. Okay. This is the big discovery that Jane Goodall made. She discovered that nearly all chimpanzee populations use tools. For a long time, scientists said that what made humans different from other animals is that they use tools. Uh, okay. But they we also used chimpanzees also use tools. And she made that discovery and it upended science when for the first time she witnessed and took video of a chimpanzee using a tool. Okay. Um, yeah, you're right. Younger chimps do it to old chimps with tooth problems. Yeah, it's not just about food sharing. They also do it for that reason. Okay. Um, And here's an image of a chimp using a sharpened. They sharpened it, a sharpened stick to hunt. I believe some kind of other primate, a small little primate. And they also use sticks, rocks, grass, and leaves, and they use those to forage for termites. Okay, And they've been using these tools for as many as 4,300 years. It is thought that they may not have always done this. They may have learned it at some point and then continued passing it down to the next generation of chimps. Okay, that sounds kind of human, doesn't it? I'm going to show you one last video here of what this tool use would have looked like. This is the kind of thing that this is actually Jane Goodall witnessing it. Okay. Thank you, Sir Bartholomew. And thank you so much for the super chat. Apes are stronger together, right, Sir Bartholomew? And with that, folks, I'll put on the collar because Tiago also sent that other one. So thank you, guys. Let me take off my keffiyeh here for a second. So while I'm putting this on, watch this footage. This was Jane Goodall, what she captured when she went to go study the chimps.
Louis Leakey sent me to Gombe because he believed that an understanding of chimpanzees in the wild would help him to better get.
You're totally right, Luke. New Caledonian crows also use tools. That's another species we now know uses tools. We didn't for a while.
How our Stone Age ancestors may have behaved. It had long been thought that we were the only creatures on Earth that used and made tools.
Those are termites. And what they'll do is they'll take a blade of grass, they'll lube it up with their mouths, and then they'll stick it in termite holes, gather termites, and then eat the termites, okay?
Man the toolmaker is how we were defined. And here was David Greybeard using a tool. When I telegrammed the
All
news...
right. So you can see it, okay? They use tools. They use tools. Hello, Nice Wings. Hello, Hello, Nice Wings. Okay. Yeah, Luke, you're right. There was interesting research on crows' facial recognition. They can do that. Okay. We're not as different as we all think. Okay. Um, this was a while back. Trump failed. This video was from a long time ago, 7 years ago, I think. But because we've known this for a very long time now. Because Jane Goodall was the first one who sort of talked about it. A very long time ago. Okay, so, all right. So now let's talk a little bit about bonobos. Now then, I don't know if I should even do that. I don't know if I should give you the content warning I'm about to give you, but I think Victoria kind of alluded to it here at the beginning. Maybe. Let's put it this way. Remember, so bonobos are also called pygmy chimpanzees, and they are very similar genetically. They're almost exactly the same as chimpanzees, but they're quite different in their social structure. And let's put it this way. They make love, not war. I'll put it that way instead. They just love let's put it this, they love engaging in coitus with each other. Let's put it that way. And there is a zoo in Columbus called thank you, AMA Gaming. That's a better way to phrase it. They be fucking, okay? There is a zoo in Columbus. It's one of the most famous in the world, called the Columbus Zoo. And they actually have a bonobos exhibit there. And I kid you not, I got a funny story for you. I had to bring a class of mine to this exhibit, to the zoo. And the person giving us a tour brought us to the bonobo exhibit. And I'll tell you what, that was one of the longest 30 minutes of my life trying to explain to my these were grade schoolers what the bonobos are doing in there, because boy were they having a grand old time inside that exhibit. males with males, females with females, adults and infants, or adults and younger bonobos. And I was just like, oh, they're playing in there. That's what they're doing. They love to engage in pretty a lot of sex. Okay. Yeah, you're exactly, Doug. Okay. So let's talk about this. All right. So um bonobos. So if you put together chimps and bonobos, you kind of have humans. They don't that often, JDH. Most of it is social bonding. Okay, you'll see what I mean here. So they're less sexually dimorphic than chimps, kind of. Male and female are more closely sized together. Males still have more muscle mass and stuff, but they're more similar in size. Okay. Some studies show that they're less aggressive than chimps. Others say, they're about the same. He did, Luke. They did set me up for that because the principal was laughing at me afterwards before I even told her what happened. So she knew what she was doing when she sent me there. Though she complimented me, she's like, "I felt that you, of all the teachers, you'd be able to handle that the best." I'm like, "Well, thank you, I guess." Okay. So, Franz de Waal states about bonobos that bonobos are capable of altruism, compassion, empathy, kindness, patience, and sensitivity. They are very interesting animals. Okay, let me go on here. So the bonobos hierarchy, right? Their social structure, they are matriarchal. Female chimps have significantly more power, not significantly more, but they have more power than males. Okay. Um, it's sort of a gender balanced power structure, but it is always a female that is in charge of the group. Okay. At the top of the hierarchy amongst bonobos is always a old, experienced matriarchal female. So, like an elderly female who's very wise. And that elderly female will make all the decisions for the group and is the leader of the group. Okay. And female bonobos typically earn their rank through experience, age, and then the ability to forge alliances with other females. But not physical intimidation. So it's like a meritocracy, right? You gain status by forming good relationships and your age and your experience, not your physical aggression, which is how it is amongst chimpanzees. Okay. Um, okay, exactly, Grammy. Okay. Uh, and another note here: top-ranking females will protect other females from male harassment. Maybe a note here for the women who are in chat. Okay. Okay. All right. Not only that, okay, the female bonobos prefer to associate with and mate with males who are respectful and easygoing around them. They do not like aggressive males. You are much less likely to get laid as a female bonobo as a male bonobo if you're aggressive and rude and cruel towards the females. Okay, let's put it that way. I shouldn't say that phrase, but okay, you get what I mean. Okay, and because female bonobos can use these alliances to rebuff domineering males, and they're the ones who select who they have sex with. Okay, they show preference for males who are not aggressive towards them. All right, which is super interesting, right? Um, and females will often form alliances with each other, and they're the ones who also go and hunt. Though they will sometimes also hunt with males who they view as less threatening to them. Okay, so a very different social structure. Um, they also, okay, bonobos, more often than not, will get to eat before the males do. Okay, and a female bonobo with several allies supporting her, like female allies supporting her, has extremely high success in monopolizing food resources. So females will band together to monopolize food sources, and then they'll dish it out to males who are deserving of the food. Right, Carlitos? They kind of are, right? This is like the kryptonite to the manosphere. Now, admittedly, this is sort of flipped on its head, right? Exactly. Some queen shit there, right? AMA. Yeah. Okay. Um, and females are the hunters. And though they will sometimes form co-ed hunting parties with males, okay? Okay, I know this image here might be a bit shocking to people. Okay, so let's talk about social sexual behavior amongst bonobos because Jesus Christ, if there's one thing you need to know about bonobos, it's the social sexual stuff. So sexual activity amongst bonobos plays a major role, like a really major role. Like calm down, bonobos, calm down. Please calm down, bonobos. Okay. All right. Being used as what some scientists perceive as a greeting. So they will literally, that's how they say hi, is that they'll have sex with each other. A lot of times it'll be used as a way of forming social bonds. And it also will be used to resolve conflicts. So instead of fighting each other, they make love, not war. Okay. Okay. They also are the only other species on the planet we know of that does tongue kissing. I'm not going to go into that. You see what I'm saying? Okay, they use tongue. Okay, let's put it that way. They also are the only other species on Earth, other than humans, who engage in face-to-face genital sex, which is shown here on the right in this image. Okay. Okay. These are animals. Remember, these are animals, so it's okay. I'm showing that image. All right. And they also do not form permanent monogamous relationships with each other. So they're not monogamous. They're like, I don't care. I do what I want. I will sleep with who I want. I will engage in sex acts with who I want. They have multiple sexual partners. They form a polycule to an extent. Okay. They're very open about their sexuality. Let's put it that way. Okay. And weirdly enough, they prefer to have sex with outsiders than to fight them. So if they could choose, hello, Dolly Boy, if they could choose between fighting an outsider, they would rather fighting them and having sex with them, they will always try to go for the latter. Okay. So those are bonobos. I could go on though, folks. I will go on. There you go, Trump failed. They sound like you in college. There you go. Okay. And right, Rick Wolfs. Okay, welcome, Rick Wolfs. Yeah, I think we do. And this is totally, Luke. We are somewhere between the two. By the way, I love Robert Sapolsky. Luke, great presenter, academic. Okay, this is a quote. I did not write this myself because I wanted to make sure that I'm not making it up. This is a quote, I think, from Jane Goodall. Okay, and here it is. Okay. When bonobos come upon a new food source or feeding ground, the increased excitement will usually lead to a communal sexual activity, presumably decreasing tension and encouraging peaceful feeding. So when they come across a new food source, they have a giant orgy. Okay, they do. I'm just saying that's what they do. That is what Jane Goodall says. I am not making it up. As a way to reduce the competitive tension amongst all of them over the food that they found. Okay. Yeah, there you go. There you go, AME, right? So that's what they do. I'm just saying that's what they do. I need another bite here of my chili. Give me a second. I'm getting all hot and flustered. Sorry, Whew, these bonobos. Okay. Um, so lastly, when it comes to bonobos, right, JDH, like they kind of haven't made. Doesn't sound like that bad of an existence to me. Uh, so JDH, you wish that happened when you went to Taco Bell? Okay. Not only that, folks, they are very gay. And I mean, like, all of them are very gay. Has to be one of the gayest species on the planet. More often than males, right? Female bonobos will engage in mutual genital rubbing. That's what they call it, okay? In order to bond with each other socially and form sort of a power structure. Male bonobos will also engage in various forms of male-to-male genital behavior. I like how they frame it in this. They like it's male-to-male genital behavior. Yeah, we know what they're doing, okay? The most common form of male-to-male genital behavior is, oh God, I don't know why I write this, why I wrote this on here, is where one of the males sits passively on his back and the other male gets on top of him and thrusts. Let's put it, okay, you get what I'm saying, okay? They also do something called genital fencing, which is what it sounds like. Two males will kind of joust at each other with their genitals. Okay, you get what I'm saying here, okay? They make love, not war. And it'll be male with male, female with female, female with male, older with younger. Like, they don't care. Yeah, how about thee? Okay. Hey, JDH, maybe. I didn't say it, but maybe. Okay. Sound in the background is the manosphere having collective apoplexy. I know, right? Right, Mithril? It's like maybe the manosphere needs to learn more about bonobos. Okay. Anyway. Because, by the way, folks, I know this is a female-centric society, right? But for the men out there, the males in these societies live very good lives, okay? Especially when compared to chimpanzees. They live better, they live longer lives. They have more if we want to view this as like a positive thing, they have more sexual partners, which biologically is considered positive thing. Even though they're not in control, okay? But again, so like and chimpanzees societies, males die a lot more from conflict. Anyway, just I mean for everyone out there, interesting though, right? Uh, yes, how about the Demosthenes, okay? So okay, all right, and that's the last slide. But I wanted to ask all of you. That's for sure, Doug, on the left. Okay, so do we see some ways now that humans and are similar and different from apes, especially bonobos and chimpanzees? Okay, we got a lot in common. A lot in common. There are some differences, but boy, do we have a lot in common. Okay, like, and as Alan said before, about 90% of our genetic material is identical to bonobos and chimpanzees. And also, I want to tell you something else, folks. Chimpanzees, some bands of bonobos have been found to have cuisines, cultural cuisines. So there was one band of bonobos that well, they will take like potatoes, like this kind of potatoes that are found in Central Africa, and they will go down to a river that has salt water in it, and they will dip those potatoes in the salt water to add flavor to them. And that has been going on for generations. They each one teaches the next generation how to do this, and it's only this one band of bonobos that does this. So, like, they have culture too. Like, different bands of bonobos and chimpanzees have different cultures. Sounds pretty human to me, right? Okay. Uh all right, guys. Whew. Oh, my back. I was leaning forward for all that. All right. So, um let's go on now, okay? So there you go. That's our presentation on bonobos and chimpanzees and a future possible Kahoot. There might be some questions about that. Right, Demosthenes? So this just something to keep aware of. And remember, folks, remember, apes do not have tails, and they're not goddamn monkeys. Okay. um, it might be Tiago, it might be cats, okay? All right. So there's also, by the way, evidence that they can engage in language. It's different than ours, but they have different calls and stuff they use to communicate. So something else. Okay. I'm gonna go back to my face here. And folks, I might need to use the restroom here. Let me get back to my face first. I drank way too much before I got on stream. Not alcohol, mind you, but okay. That was last night's stream. Okay. Yeah, tune in for another edition of Ape Tale. Okay. All right. Okay. So all right, guys. So allow me, I'm gonna use the restroom real fast. When I come back, we're gonna talk a little bit about what's happening in Gaza. Well, actually, no. First, I have some like community announcements I wanted to make and some requests/questions for all of you. Then we'll talk about Gaza. Then we will do some Discord reactions. Okay, I'll be right back. Give me a second. If there's something I can show you while I'm gone, that'd be nice. You know what? I'll wait because I want to watch this with you. I'll be right back, folks. Also, if we get 2 more super chats, I will put on the jester makeup. Just 2 more, and I shall, Doug. Don't worry. I'll put on the jester makeup. Hello, Jay Shadow. Ah, crap. I'm all tangled up. Give me a second, folks. Speak about being like a chimpanzee. Ugh. Take that off and move it. Okay, there we go. All right. And we're back. Okay. And the hands were washed. The hands were washed. Okay. All right. Let me put all the stuff back on. All right, folks. Anyone come by? Anyone? Did I miss anything? Chair stream for those who won't get the joke. Is this the start of a Hassan arc? Hey, I didn't put on a video while I went, okay? All right. Okay, folks. So let us now talk. I just had some community announcements, things to talk about, and then we will do the talk about Gaza. How dare you, Tiago? How dare you? How dare you, Tiago? I'm going to be in your DMs later, Tiago. Okay. All right. Gotta put the kafia back on. Here we go. Okay, folks. 2 more super chats. And I'll put on the makeup. And for those who came in later, if we get to 10 super chats, I will do either a Q&A or an extra stream later, a Jester After Dark stream. For those on Twitch, if you send bits, if you send like 200 bits, it'll count towards the stream. Okay. So, and folks, please join our Discord if you haven't already. For those who are watching and don't aren't in the Discord, it is linked at the top of the YouTube chat, okay? All right. So, a few announcements slash questions slash things to tell you. First of all, I'm trying to find a video for my dad and I to react to next. The last video that I reacted to with him was the video of the guy going into those really racist protests in London, and it was a couple people in the community that recommended that to me. I would love if you go to a Discord and you get to the reactions or the ideas or the reactions, either one. If you have something you think is recent, popular, and relevant, please send it to me because I'm trying to find something. Did you, Doug? Okay, I'll take a look at it. Please send it to me. I'm very open to suggestions here. They can be as long as you want, Mr. McCrispy Toast. It's better if they're like 30 minutes or less, but I can break it into parts if it's longer. Okay, oversimplified, I can do that. Okay, well, there we go, Doug. Thank you. That's perfect. Okay. So just throwing that out there. If anyone has anything you think it'd be good for us to react to, gladly, Jay Shadow, we'll do that. Okay. We could do that. All right. Now, another thing too. I am going to be doing a charity stream on Twitch at some point. And I'm going to be putting a poll up in the Discord with a list of charities to see. Okay, Tiago. Oh, that's a good one, Tiago. We could do that one, the Tylenol one. That is Mithril. That's a good one. We could do that. Oh, okay. These are all great suggestions. Okay. I'm going to be doing a charity live stream on Twitch eventually, and I'm going to be putting a poll up in the Discord with a list of charities, and I want the community to decide which charity we collectively want to donate to. So be on the lookout for that. And lastly, I thought you guys would find this interesting. If I can find it. Here we go. So I'll put this up here. This is so basically when you have a YouTube account and you're monetized and stuff, you can print off what is called a media kit, which gives details about your channel, who watches it, and things like that. And then you can send it to advertisers if they Robert, we could do autism awareness. You can send it to advertisers. Ooh, my face is gone. You can send it to advertisers to see if they're interested, okay? Just some interesting stats about my channel here. I thought you guys would find interesting. So most of the people that watch my channel are 25 to 34 years old. And then the second highest is 18 to 24. Most of them come from the United States. About 6% are from the UK, and then below that is Canada, Germany, and Australia. And then over here, this is something I want to work on, and I can understand why because I'm a man, but about 74% of all my viewers are male. And I would like to, I mean, it might be because I'm cute, I don't know, but I would like to try and increase the number of women watching. If for anyone has any ideas on that. Also, this is about you guys, okay? It ranks the kind of things that people who watch your channel might be interested in seeing in terms of advertisements. I don't have any ads or anything. It's just interesting data. Okay. A lot of you apparently are light TV viewers, whatever that means. A lot of you like indie and alternative rock. A lot of you are do online banking. A lot of you are casual gamers, and a lot of you like sci-fi and fantasy movies. Isn't that interesting? I just thought that was super interesting. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with all you. I thought it was kind of cool. All right. Yeah, that interesting, Alan. That makes sense. So is it mainly you think it might be a platform thing, Alan? That's interesting. Okay. So all right. That's the last thing. Now we can talk about what's happening in Gaza. And Alan, you might need to help me out here because I may have missed some of the news since I've started streaming. But okay, I wanted to watch this with you. This is from 3 days ago, and a lot has happened in the last 3 days. Regardless, this video outlines what is in the deal that Trump was pushing for Israel and Palestine. Okay, thank you, Alan. I'll take a look at that. I'm going to open that over here, and I'll take a look at it here in a second. So let's watch this video talking about what is in the deal that Trump was outlining. Okay. Okay, here we go. And again, some stuff has changed recently, but I think it's good for us to have a starting point.
On Monday, US President Donald Trump, alongside Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, presented yet another peace plan for Gaza. Despite the fact that the previous proposed ceasefires have all fallen short, Trump seemed remarkably optimistic about this one, claiming that it could even bring, quote, eternal peace to the Middle East. However, in the press conference afterwards, both Trump and Netanyahu made it clear that if Hamas didn't accept the deal, Israel would escalate its war in Gaza, with Netanyahu promising to, quote, finish the job, and Trump promising American support to that end. So in this video, we're going to take a look at this new peace plan, why there's reason to suspect that Hamas won't accept it, and what might actually happen next.
Oops. Admittedly, Hamas accepted most of it. Didn't they also, they asked for a couple things to be changed, which I understand, because my theory here, folks, is that the original peace plan had poison pills on it on purpose, knowing that Hamas wouldn't be able to accept the whole thing, which is a common tactic Israel uses. Okay, Doug on the left, I'll take a look. That is actually a really good point, Doug. I think that'd be brilliant. And my dad and I, we have differing views on religion because he's Catholic and I'm an atheist. That'd be a really good idea. That's a good idea, Doug. Okay, blah, blah, blah. All right. By the way, no more ads on whenever I'm
If you're interested in the political alliances and groupings that shape our world, then you might enjoy our poster, Every Alliance Explained. It shows, in slightly confusing detail, all of the world's major alliances and how different countries link together. Check out the poster by clicking the links in the description.
Okay, blah, blah, blah. Here
So
we go.
let's get straight into it. We've actually got the full text of Trump's new peace plan for Gaza, and it's composed of 20 bullet points, which we'll run through quickly now, so stick with me. Point 1 states that Gaza will become a de-radicalized, terror-free zone. Point 2 states that Gaza will be redeveloped, quote, for the benefit of the people.
We'll see about that.
Point 3 states that if both sides agree, the war will end immediately. Importantly, however, this doesn't mean that IDF troops will withdraw from Gaza. Rather, they'll just withdraw to a, quote, agreed-upon line, only a kilometer or so back from their current line of control.
Thank you, Alan.
Points 4 and 5 deal with hostages, obliging Hamas to return all hostages in return for thousands of Gazans detained since October 7th. Point 6.
Yeah, by the way, don't forget, Israel has thousands of Palestinians that are being held hostage, including children.
Offers an
You never hear anyone demanding those hostages back, though, do we? Hello, weirdomorphous blob, okay? That is a very good point, Alan. Oh, Doug, that's a good question. I will answer that after this, Doug. The question about atheist versus agnostic. I used to call myself agnostic, okay? But I will get into it.
amnesty to Hamas members who commit to peaceful coexistence and decommission their weapons. While points 7 and 8 essentially guarantee a resumption of humanitarian aid into Gaza. Point 9 says that Gaza will temporarily be governed by a technocratic committee of Palestinians and international development experts, overseen by...
I believe one of the demands, isn't it one of the demands Hamas made, is that that committee would be run by Palestinians completely, which I agree with. I don't like the idea of it being run, having anyone who's not Palestinian on it. They should have their independence. They should be making their own decisions about their government, etc.
a so-called Board of Peace, to be chaired by Trump and include former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. This committee will govern Gaza until the Palestinian Authority, which is nominally responsible for the governance of the West Bank, has, quote, completed its reform program. It's worth noting that this is, at first glance, quite a significant concession from Netanyahu,
Tony Blair, right?
who's previously refused to countenance the idea of a Palestinian Authority playing any role in Gaza.
Again, remember when I told you about, like, we were talking about chimpanzees? Whenever I see Benjamin Netanyahu, I just imagine, like, he's like such a monstrous human being. Anyway.
So, of course, a lot depends here on what exactly is meant by completed its reform program. And the deal also makes reference to Trump's 2020 plan, which required the Palestinian Authority to swallow some pretty bitter pills, including refraining from any attempt to join any international organization without Israel's consent, and taking no action against Israel or the US via the ICC, ICJ, and all other tribunals. Next up is point 10, which includes some waffle about Trump's economic development plan. Point 11 then says that Gaza will become a special economic zone with preferential tariff rates. Point 12 addresses the question of Palestinians being forcibly expelled from Gaza, which is something that Israel has been accused of considering, insisting that, quote, no one will be forced to leave Gaza, and those who will...
Luke, I'm sorry, guys. I know we're doing the Gaza thing, but Luke, that is 100% Luke. That is actually what I was going to say at the end of this, what Luke says here about atheists versus agnostics, because I probably would call myself an agnostic atheist. But yeah.
Wish to leave will be free to do so and free to return. Point 13 then basically says that Hamas must agree not to have any role in Gaza's post-war governance structure and its total demilitarization. Points 14 and 15 then basically say that Gaza's Arab neighbors will lead a new international coalition called the International Stabilization Force, or ISF, that will essentially become responsible for security inside the Strip. Point 16 says the ISF will gradually...
But see, like, Gaza just needs its independence, doesn't it? Don't the Palestinians just need their own state?
Take over from the IDF, who will eventually only be responsible for security along Gaza's borders with Israel and Egypt. Interestingly, point 17 says that this will happen even if Hamas rejects the deal. In other words, this Arab-led coalition would apparently replace the IDF, whatever happens. Points 18, 19, and 20 then basically say that Palestinians, Israel, and the US will work together towards peaceful coexistence and, quote, a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, which we recognize as the aspiration of the Palestinian people. At first glance, this looks like a meaningful concession from Netanyahu, who has previously ruled.
Okay, folks. I'm going to pause it because I see there's a good chat going on here about atheism versus agnosticism. Forgive me, I'm just going to respond to it. I'm going to just read this real fast. I'm just reading through it. Carlitos, Jay Shadow, Luke, Doug. Okay. So, yeah. So let me put it this way, folks. I know we're doing the Gaza stuff, but I'll take a little side thing here. Yeah, Luke, I think Luke is right on the ball here, okay? Uh, Atheism has to do with belief. I don't believe there is a God. Just like I believe there is gravity, even though there's a possibility that there isn't gravity, but the likelihood is still much higher that there is gravity. You see what I mean? Agnosticism has to do with knowledge, right? Uh, so I'm not saying that there won't be evidence in the future that there's a God, but right now I don't believe there is a God, and so I would classify myself as an agnostic atheist, as in there is not there is not that doesn't mean that there isn't evidence, but I have not seen it. And if I have not seen any evidence that is any evidence at all that there is a God, that doesn't mean that by the nature of knowledge, it doesn't mean that there isn't evidence, but I certainly haven't seen any. So I believe that there isn't, and therefore I'm an atheist. Okay. Um, that is how I like to frame that. Um, uh, so, yeah. But again, folks, like, and again, let me put it this way, all right? Remember when I did the stream on Descartes, okay? You can't know anything 100%, not a thing, okay? Like, you can't even know if we exist 100%. You can get to, like, 90.9999999 repeating certainty, but okay. So, if we go off that, you could be agnostic. We're basically agnostic about everything, but then we still believe things, right? We believe, um, we believe that, like, gravity exists, don't we? Even though we're not 100% certain, because there's a lot of evidence for it. So, um, you can, it's the same thing with God, in my opinion, right? You all can believe all this. You can believe what you want, right? Again. So, I see zero evidence that there's a God. Um, and so I am an atheist, just like, even though there's like a non-zero chance there is a God, just like I believe in gravity, even though I can't be 100% certainly. Okay. Um, so that is my theory here. Again, folks, please believe what you want to about this. All right. Um, okay. All right. So let's go back into the Gaza stuff. Um, um, JDH, yeah. Well, that's my thought. JDH is like, we don't do that for anything else, do we? And that's my thought. Like, most people don't say they don't that they're agnostic about gravity, because even though we can't be 100% certain, it doesn't mean that it's not real. So I don't see why we do that with God. But hey, I get it. It's a bit more of a personal topic for people. That's why I say atheist and not agnostic, because I am as certain as I am about gravity that there isn't a God. Okay. I could add agnostic to that, but I think we're all agnostic about everything. That's just my theory. Okay. That's just my thought there. Hello, Mad Sci Guy. Welcome, Mad Sci Guy. Um, uh, yeah, no, Jay Shadow, the atheist community is extremely toxic. I avoid it. Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of Nazis and right-wing people out there who are atheists. There's a lot of very Islamic phobic people who are atheists. I cannot stand them. Like a lot of the new atheists, Christopher Hitchens, um, Sam Harris, very, very Islamophobic. Um, I don't agree with that. Okay. Yeah, because I don't care if you believe in a religion. You believe what you want. I love you. I love you no matter what. Okay, maybe not love you, but I care about your well being, regardless of what your religion is. Um, okay. So okay, guys. So let's and so that is an unfortunate part of a large number of people who are atheists. They're just Islamophobes. I have noticed that as well. Okay. Yeah, that's disgusting, right, Alan? Yeah, I think you told me that, Alan. One of those new atheists recently said Christian nationalism is the only thing that can save us from Islam. Uh, yeah, see that's gross, Alan. So disgusting. I love you, Jay Shadow. How about that? I love most of you. Okay. Okay. Weird amorphous blob. Sam, torture can be justified while America's practicing it on a Yeah, exactly, exactly. That is the kind of gross stuff you hear coming from those new atheists, and they were very prominent, and they influenced a lot of atheists, which I think is repulsive because you too, Tiago, I love you too. Okay, my atheism comes with humanism. Humanism. You could basically say I believe in what Jesus Christ or I don't view him as Christ, but what Jesus was saying philosophically, okay? I believe in humanism. I think we should care for each other, that human beings are all equal. You can and things like that, but a lot of atheists are atheists and then not humanists, which I think is repulsive. I don't like that. So yeah, okay. That is my thought. And like yeah, so if your atheism turns into and folks, I've admitted this before, you all know I have a slight bias against Christians just because of my past traumas and things like that. But like if you are a Christian, I don't care. But when I get into conversations about Christianity, I start feeling it personally because of experiences I've had in my life as a gay man. But I am not. Christians are human beings, just like anyone else. Okay, and same thing with Muslims. Same thing with atheists. Everyone is. Okay, fine. All of you. I love all of you. Okay, okay. And now that I've started this parasocial backlash, okay. Um, I totally agree, Death Die Today. A lot of these new atheists need to touch some grass and get some consistent ethics. I totally agree, Death Die Today. It really grosses me out, some of the things that come out of the mouths of new atheists. So yeah. And now you don't believe me, Tiago? God, okay. So anyway, are you talking about religious Jay Shadow? Now Bill Mayer, I am not a fan of him. I know which one. I know which. I also believe in respecting religious folks. Bill Mayer is not respectful of religious folks. But I will say that is a good documentary, Jay Shadow. I've seen it before. I wish he was a bit more respectful. And I'm not a fan of Bill Mayer, but that Religious was a pretty good documentary. At least it highlighted a lot of the more loony religious folks. But of course, most religious folks are not that loony. Um, Okay, you're right, Toya Toya. I am excluding the Portuguese speakers from my love. Okay, I believe that's what you're saying, Toya Toya Toya. I can use context clues. Yeah, you're totally right, Jay Shadow. Okay, is everyone good with that? Are we satisfied with that? So and there one last thing I'm going to say. Uh, yeah, no, I agree, Alan, and that's Alan. I don't know if you noticed. Recently, I've been failing at doing this, but I try not to talk about the religion stuff as much because especially when I do it, I can come across as being a dick. Okay. And I know that's a personal flaw of mine because of my past experiences. And I need to be better about not doing that. I'll tell you what, I don't mean to bring up a creator that can cause conflict here, but there are well, I won't bring up names, but there are some lefty content creators who don't ever talk about religion, and I think that is smart. Um, anyway, I could be better about that. Yeah, Richard Dawkins also has become more of a disappointment recently. Um, so Yeah, Trump failed. I'll send you some. Trump failed. Are you in our Discord? I can send you some. And don't get me wrong, Trump failed. Christopher Hitchens is really cool in a lot of other ways. But he is Islamophobic, though. He was a lot Islamophobic in some ways. So yeah. Okay. Uh, and he was also very pro the Iraq War, which was another big issue I had with Christopher Hitchens. Very pro the Iraq War. Yeah, and Richard Dawkins also very transphobic. And this is why, like, I did not develop my atheism from those people, I'm glad to say. I developed it through reading philosophy and stuff. I'm kind of glad I didn't see those guys first. Um, yeah, he went from being a Trotskyite to being a neocon. Yeah, Bill Mayer is also very Islamophobic. Yeah, no, you're totally right. It's not. Oh, don't get me wrong, Alan. Yeah, Islamophobia is not just what atheists do. But yeah, and you're right, Shadow. But Hitchens was an adult when he became very pro the Iraq War, and he became very strangely jingoistic American. He became an American. That's true, Luke. He became an American and suddenly became like this guns blazing, bleeds red, white, and blue, nationalist jingoist guy. It was really quite unfortunate. Um, so okay. Uh, yeah. Okay. So, though I will say, when it comes to Christopher Hitchens, he's not as Islamophobic as like Sam Harris or Richard Dawkins or the other idiot. What's his name? But still, okay. Yeah, Hitchens' brother is a lunatic. Tom McDonald, maybe Tom McDonald. Yeah. Anyway, so I think we've covered that now. Okay, I'm going to repeat myself again, folks. We're all human beings. I don't care if you're atheist, Christian, Jewish, Hindu, if you believe in God, if you don't believe in God, you're all fine. You're all people. People of all stripes can be good people, bad people, do good things, bad things. Atheists can do good things, bad things. Christians can do good things, bad things. Yeah. All right. Dennett, yes. Oh, Dennett, thank you. Maybe Dennett, Luke. I can't. Oh, I know who Dennett is. He's one of the four horsemen, as they call them. Anyway. Okay. Um, yeah. Everyone poops, right? Okay. So I love that. That's a great book, by the way, Robert. Okay. Uh. Um. Oh, thank you for that, Toya. Admittedly, Toya. Perhaps it is my. It also is partially a business move on my part. Okay. Not talking about it as much as I sometimes might want to, because uh 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 as being because I don't want to push people away. 'Cause I want them to hear my message, okay? But that you're thank you though for Toy. Okay, there we go. Do we have? It looks like thank you, Jonas. Oh, I forgot about that, Jonas. Yeah, Jonas. He described the prophet as being an unintelligent warlord, despite of all wars being defensive, preemptive due to aggression from everyone around them. Um, though Jonas, so Jonas, okay, Jonas, I agree. I am not pro Islamophobia, obviously. Admittedly, though, Hitchens was also said pretty vile or pretty inflammatory things about like Jesus and Christian people. So, calling Muhammad an unintelligent warlord, I guess, is what he did, would be right up that alley. Do we have evidence of him doing it more for Islam than for like Christianity? Because he was just kind of generally anti-Christian. Um, okay, just curious. Um, and again, he was. I know for a fact Christopher Hitchens said some things that were Islamophobic, where he generalized about Muslims. Um, I am curious though about that. Um, all right. Yeah, I'll do that. Trump failed. I'll do that. Trump failed. That's fair. Hey, Trump failed. Christopher Hitchens had a lot of really good debates and stuff where he was very good at dismantling some really far right Christian stuff. So don't. It's okay that that's the case. Trump failed. I mean, you can take his arguments that are not Islamophobic and view those as acceptable. I understand that. Um, I don't know what happened to that person, Jay Shadow. I won't say their name out loud. Okay. Uh, all right. Yes, it does. Sonic or Diego. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Jonas, I agree. I agree. Don't get me wrong, Jonas. Like I said, I think he was Islamophobic. Um, I'm just, Trump failed wants some specific examples. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'll have to find some. Okay, so guys, I don't want to bore everyone by talking about this stuff while we have this video up. So let's finish this video. We can maybe talk more about this afterwards. So let's finish this video about the peaceful stuff between I mean about the peace agreement that Trump was pushing for Israel and Palestine. Okay, then we can talk maybe a bit more about religious stuff. Okay, yeah.
Ruled out the idea of a Palestinian state. But it's worth noting that this includes no concrete commitments, merely a recognition from Israel and the US that it's the aspiration of the Palestinian people. So, could this deal actually bring eternal peace to the Middle East? Well, at first glance, there seems to be a cause for optimism. Israel has made at least some superficial concessions, and the deal has been well received internationally. The UK, France, and Italy all expressed support for the plan, and the foreign ministers of Saudi Arabia, Jordan, the UAE, Indonesia, Pakistan, Turkey, Qatar, and Egypt released a joint statement, quote, welcoming Trump's plan. The fact that the Arab countries that would be expected to lead the ISF, like Egypt and Jordan, and relatively Hamas-friendly countries like Turkey and Qatar, have all reacted so positively does seem like a good sign. Nonetheless, familiar stumbling blocks do remain.
I would not be surprised if Israel gets into a war with Turkey at some point. Because you have to understand, folks, Israel, a lot of the leaders in Israel have been pretty explicit about wanting to create a greater Israeli empire in the Middle East. There are several things standing in the way of that. There is Turkish imperial domination of the Middle East, and there is Iranian imperial domination of the Middle East. Yes, Tiago, Turkey is in NATO, but Israel is an ally of NATO. They're not in NATO, but there are other things to consider there. You can wage proxy wars. There's other things you could do to fight back against Turkey. I don't think they'd ever have an all-out war. But Turkey would stand in the way of complete Israeli domination of the Middle East. The other one that stands in the way is Iran, which kind of explains a lot. Yeah, right, weird amorphous blob. So, but you're right about Turkey being in NATO. That definitely decreases that chance. But we also, Tiago, and tell me if you agree, Tiago. Uh, um, uh, so, for example, the people also, you got to admit though, a lot of those NATO countries are totally in Israel's like, are very much pro-Israel. They might be willing to look the other way if there was a conflict between Turkey and Israel. And they might actually side with Israel because Turkey is a Muslim state. Just some thoughts to have. Yeah, absolutely, Jonas. They are in a good relationship with Russia. Exactly. So like it is no, Mithril, you're right. Article 5 doesn't, right? Wouldn't differentiate. That is a fair point. But there are other ways to engage in like a war like that aren't direct. Geez, Alan. Okay, but you're right, Mithril. Article 5 would be sort of pushing against that. Maybe I'm just doomer pilled here because I don't trust Israel to not care about that. Yeah, as a matter of fact, Trump failed. Israel has taken more land from Syria. They are currently created a military-free zone. They have literally are taking more land from Syria as we speak, and occupying it, and then bombing any Syrian armed forces that go anywhere near it, and then claiming it's to defend civilians in the region when it's really just to protect what they're taking in Syria. So Yeah. Okay. But that is a fair. I think Mithril's making a good point. Tiago's making a good point here too. Lebanon also. Okay. So this is, um, uh, yeah, totally weird amorphous blob. Yeah, Israel has bombed all of its neighbors. And there's a map, by the way. You know what? Let me see if I can find it, folks. There is a map of Greater Israel. Um, Greater Israel map. Where is it? Location. Open a new tab. Oh, I could do that. That's a good point. I'm trying to see. So there is somewhere in is it in the Knesset? There's a big map of Greater Israel. I think it's in the Knesset. It's in some Israeli legislative body. Um, oh, I know. So all these tabs here, these are all the videos I was watching during the presentation. I was showing people during the presentation. I know. My apologies. Oh, I did. I'm sorry. Don't worry. I'll refind it. I'll refind it, Alan. My apologies there. Uh, there we go. Okay. But anyway, that's a good question, Luke. I don't know. Again, Luke, I want to point out, folks, I'm kind of spitballing here. It would be very difficult for Israel to attack Turkey. I just don't see it as 100% certain that they want it. And they, knowing Israel, they might frame it as an accident. Oops, we just bombed that military convoy or something. But I don't know, Luke, and I could be wrong. But all right, because they do also have to worry about NATO. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so let's. I want to see here that Alan did send this. Drop site news reports that Israel sees the likelihood of a captive release deal within days. The outlet has shared new details, citing senior political and security sources on the emerging Trump-backed framework. A senior political source reportedly told N12, right now Hamas is saying it is prepared to release hostages separately. This is a huge achievement from the prime minister in Israel, in which all the hostages, living and dead, are received in exchange for a set number of prisoners, alongside a tactical withdrawal, while IDF forces remain deep inside the strip. This fulfills the central objective of the war: hostages. Yeah, it's not, honestly, folks, though, that is not true. I mean, and I know, Alan, I like this. I'm just saying that last part that says that is, they're lying when they say that that's the central objective. We all know that is not Israel's central objective, is to get the hostages back. That has been the lie they've been telling this whole time. Okay. Uh, um, okay, Jonas. That is so Jonas. That's what I'm referring to now. No, Jonas, did you notice that when the Syrian troops entered that city, I can't remember the name of it, and there was some issues with the Druze there. Though that city is near the territory. Exactly, Jonas. That is near the territory that Israel has seized. So is it coincidental that a Syrian military force starts moving towards it, and then Israel starts bombing that military force and claiming it's to protect the Druze? I think not. I think it's a calculation. I think they're trying to I think they're just trying to prevent the Syrian military from regaining control of that territory they've illegally seized into Syria. Um, okay. So, okay. On coordination with Trump, the official claimed everything is planned. There are no surprises here. Because I'm sorry, one other thing, folks. Because honestly, does anyone here really think the Israelis care about the Druze? Are you kidding me? They don't give a shit, okay? There's some Druze that live in Israel, but there's also Arabs that live in Israel. They don't give a shit about the Druze. Okay, it's obviously something cynical, okay? Like, obviously, right? I think Jonas is 100% right, okay? I mean, it's obvious, okay? Anyway, you're right. Self-defense, right, Demosthenes? Or we're protecting the Druze. You don't give a shit about Druze in a foreign country. You don't give a shit, okay? Um, Yep, absolutely weird amorphous blob. So, okay. Um, on coordination with Trump, the official claimed everything is planned and there are no surprises here. Nothing came as a surprise. Everything was discussed and agreed in advance. He added that Netanyahu spoke with Trump before the U.S. president's statement and is working with him in full and close coordination. That's a lie, because we now know that um, that they were actually the Israelis were caught off guard by Trump saying that Israel needs to stop bombing and things like that. Oh, did I miss something? I'm sorry. Thank you, Matt Saigai, for the super chat. Okay, thank you for that. See here, that would give us 1, 2, 3. Did I miss another one here? I think we actually need one more for the makeup, Matt Saigai, as I recall. Nope, we don't. Okay, we're good. I'll put on the makeup. Thank you. Okay, so I'll put on the makeup. Thank you, Matt Saigai. So again, okay, I mean, this is all quotes, so it's not like Alan sent me something bad here. It's just that the quotes from the Israeli government. One key, Saudi. Oh, okay. On timing, the official explained that delegations will meet in Cairo tomorrow or Monday, to discuss technical details. Saudi channel Al Arabia reported Hamas's delegation will arrive in Cairo tonight. Egyptian officials told Qatar's Al Arbi that Cairo is set to host negotiations tomorrow, including practical arrangements on the ground for implementing the first stage of Trump's plan. They said Israel will hand mediators its maps of the initial withdrawal at those talks. Okay. I'm just reading through here, folks. Yeah, definitely. An Israeli source said we're heading into a dramatic and he does say the officials assess Israel will resume fighting if the deal collapses. So I suspect they'll try to get the deal to collapse so that they can. Okay. Thank you, Matt Saigai. Really? Okay, I'll put on the makeup. Thank you, Matt Saigai. So let's finish watching that video. Okay. About this video here to see about this Gaza peace plan. This will all give me a chance to put on the makeup. Okay.
Maine. Most obviously, this requires Hamas to accept their demilitarization for the good of ordinary Palestinians, which feels unlikely. Furthermore, the plan is remarkably vague. It isn't clear, for instance, what the precise relationship between the Palestinian government and the Trump-led Board of Peace will be. The deal text only tells us the board will, quote, set the framework. Nor are there any concrete commitments vis-a-vis the Palestinian state, or any clarity on who could serve on the technocratic Palestinian committee. Would civil servants who served under Hamas, for instance, be excluded? Perhaps most problematic is the lack of clear timetable for the IDF's promised withdrawal. This isn't in and of itself a bad thing. Lots of peace deals use vague language as a stepping stone to a better defined agreement. But it is a problem in this context because there's zero trust between Israel and Hamas, and Hamas will expect Israel to exploit this vagueness in the future. Netanyahu's comments since the deal's presentation won't have helped things either. On Monday evening, Netanyahu put out a video in Hebrew framing the deal as a diplomatic ploy, claiming that instead of Hamas isolating us, we isolated Hamas, and that, quote, the IDF will remain in most of the Strip. Netanyahu's comments were
100%
presumably an attempt to placate
I'm sorry,
the far-right.
I gotta repeat what Jonas said here. Jonas said it's just going to be a repeat of what happened before. If the deal doesn't collapse, you can put up, and that's my fear, Jonas. Like I need proof that we still need Palestine to be free. Even if this peace deal does go through, will Palestine be free? Because the cycle is just gonna keep happening as long as Palestine isn't free and they don't have self-determination. And I know they're claiming that the Palestinian Authority, which I'm not a big fan of, will try to have elections, but that still doesn't mean that they will be free. Hamas was elected, but it wasn't a free country, though. You know what I mean? As in, like, they had elections, but it was still an occupied country. So I completely agree with Jonas. I am happy to see the slaughter end if it does, but there will be more slaughter later because we've seen this over and over and over and over again.
Ministers whom he relies on for his parliamentary majority. But this didn't work, and on Tuesday, Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich denounced the proposal as a, quote, resounding diplomatic failure. Furthermore, contrary to what recent headlines have implied, Israel's Arab neighbors have not actually said that they support the plan. Rather, they, quote, welcome Trump's efforts towards peace, but insist upon a comprehensive deal that includes, quote, full Israeli withdrawal and a two-state solution under which Gaza is fully integrated with the West Bank. This isn't
Right,
explicitly
Matt, son,
guaranteed
guy?
by the
Jesus.
deal, and again, Netanyahu's comments won't have helped. Not only has Netanyahu claimed that the IDF will remain in most of the Strip, but he also reiterated his opposition
Jesus
to a
Christ.
Palestinian state,
he
insisting,
did.
quote,
Of
it
course
is
he did.
not written in the agreement, and
Fucking
expressing
monster.
skepticism that, quote, the leopard can change its spots. In other words, casting doubt on the idea of the Palestinian Authority ever taking control of Gaza.
Oh, Tiago, sorry, I don't have my glasses on. I had trouble seeing your quote there. Why don't I like the Palestinian Authority? Because they're a puppet of Israel. And even the Palestinian people don't like the Palestinian Authority. They're basically a puppet. I think the Palestinian people should be able to choose their own fate, not be put under the guidance of this unpopular puppet government that basically goes along to get along with Israel while their constituents are continuing losing land in the West Bank to Israeli settlements, settler violence, and things like that. Yeah, it's partially a matter of self-determination, Tiago. If you know, I don't think they should be in charge of people who don't like them and want another group. Okay, that's my thought there, Tiago. Okay. Um, oh, that's what I'm. Yeah, but the West Side Bank is losing land too. Yeah, that's my point here, Tiago. Is that the Palestinian Authority occupies the West Bank? Okay. Um, that hey, you know that Alan, though, that is a good point. Again, I'm not a fan of Hamas, folks. Alan says the Palestinian people are obviously upset with Hamas too. They're being genocided, but I believe Hamas is looking more for their interests than the Palestinian Authority. Yeah, okay. That is true, Weird Amorphous Blob. Uh, okay, all right. But again, folks, I am not a Palestinian here. I am not the one who should be deciding the fate of the Palestinian people. So everything I say here is irrelevant. I want them to decide their own fate. They should be independent and make their own decisions. They should have their own nation. I will say this, right? I would be willing. My opinion doesn't matter. I am okay with if it stops the slaughter for the Palestinian Authority to take over. If it stops the slaughter, but again, that is more of a selfish thing on my part because I want to see the people stop dying. But you know, so I would be okay if that happens, if it stops people getting killed. But as Jonas said, that's not really a permanent solution because we're just going to see it in the future, and the Palestinian people should decide for themselves. Um, yeah, Tiago. Yes, Tiago. They've been like territory has in the West Bank has continually been taken from the Palestinians living there under the auspices of the Palestinian Authority, who kind of are slugs who have kind of just do what Israel's will is. Um, Not surprised to see Hamas actually in this vile matter. What's in their that's in their nature. I hold governments of democratic. Yeah. Oh, totally, Jonas. No, you're totally right. And yeah. And by the way, we should always remember Hamas. Remember what happens when you oppress a group of people and bomb them and treat them like shit. You're going to see radicalization. Hamas is a natural outgrowth of years of bombing, radicalization, and stuff. Now, although the election was many years ago at this point, they were elected by the Palestinian people. And Western countries, Western democracies in general, have less excuse for being monstrous assholes than Hamas does. Okay. All right.
Thus, the prospect of a unified Palestinian state covering both Gaza and the West Bank. Now, this isn't to say that the deal will necessarily fail, and Trump does deserve credit for squeezing out at least some concessions from Netanyahu. Nonetheless, history doesn't bode well here, and familiar obstacles are already rearing their heads. Ultimately, we live in a world where growing geopolitical and economic issues like this are
Real fast, I agree with Amorphous Blob. Part of this deal is that Hamas can't be in power or can't run for office I really don't care, folks. I think they should be able to run for office because the Palestinian people should choose their own fate. I don't think Hamas would win at this point, but the Palestinian people should be able to choose their own fate. Okay. Right, Matt Side Guy. Yeah. Um, I will say though, like I've asked before, they haven't really had elections since Hamas was elected, and most of the people living in Gaza now weren't alive when they were elected. So, um, like you see what I mean? But again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm doing this but Hamas thing. I'm not. The Palestinian people should decide what they want. Right, Alan. Very fair. Very fair. Okay. Okay, that sounds good, Tiago. All right.
Hitting the headlines every day. And while it's easy to sometimes feel overwhelmed, there are ways to stay sharp. And we know that the easiest way to do this is with Brilliant. That's because Brilliant teaches you by doing,
Exactly,
using
Carlitos.
active learning techniques to train you in the principles behind otherwise complex subjects, and ensuring you actually understand what's going on, with their ever-growing collection of
Okay.
of logic gates.
So that's it. All right. Again, folks, my concluding statement here is the Palestinian people, the kind of conversations we have here, right? Of course, it's okay that we're talking about it. I'm just saying this is why the Palestinian people need to be free. They need to be able to make these decisions for themselves. The fact that us having conversations like this, for example, in America and the UK and stuff, and the fact that foreign governments are deciding for Palestine what they're going to do with their government is an extension of the problem we still have. Of course, we can all have preferences and stuff, but I feel that the Palestinian people need to make their own decisions and they need to be granted their own independent state. Um, um, okay. Oh, Carlitos. You know what, Carlitos? That is an excellent point. Uh, yeah, and again, folks, like that's just like the idea about me saying I don't think Hamas would be reelected. I could be completely wrong about that, and it doesn't matter. I don't. If they do get reelected, that's fine. If that's what the Palestinian people want. I don't really know enough about like their current popularity or whatever in Gaza, but that's very fair. Okay. And Carlitos, why should genocidal Bibi be allowed to run? You're right, and also notice the framing here, folks. Like who in the West is talking about, having new elections in Israel and sending an international organization there to make sure it's a democratic election where the genocidal maniac can't run for office and the Likud party is banned because of all the genocide they've done. Um, okay. Uh, that's a really good point, Carlitos. So, yeah, you're honestly right. I did make an assumption there. I could be wrong about that. Uh, that's a really good point, Weirdo. Again, I could be wrong about that, folks. I don't know much about the popularity of Hamas. Um, okay. Oh, I know, right, Mithril? We don't, and like again, hey, if we're going to apply equal standards, maybe we should force Israel to do the same. We should, why don't we have someone there do a transition of power there and ban the Likud party and like all that other shit? Anyway, honestly, Dolly Boy, would someone answer Dolly Boy? I don't really know. I know that Israel supported Hamas. They funded Hamas because they viewed Hamas as a force that would allow them to divide, um, yeah, take. I'm not sure if did the West try to stop him. I'm not quite sure. I want to be surprised. The Shabab great gain being celebrated by some Western media. Oh my God, I know, Weirdomorphous Blob. Um, okay, Bibi had power for longer than a lot. of us have been alive. I'm not sure they don't have a democracy, Jonas. I'll say it flat out, they don't. I think I put it in quotes when I said because you can't be a democracy if you're an apartheid state, right? Was South Africa a democracy? That's to me, that's not a democracy, right? Uh, Plus the corruption, everything else. Okay, the fascism. I mean, I don't view it as a democracy at all. And I really that talking point that I'm sure many of you have heard before that Israel's the only like democracy in the Middle East. Nope, they're not a democracy. It doesn't count. Okay. Right. Uh, the Weird Amorphous Blob has said is correct. There are many that hate them and many that view the resistance positively. They're all obvious. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah, he loved Hamas, didn't he, Matt Saigai? They supported them. Um, hmm. Alan, you may have gotten me there, Alan. I would say no. America really hasn't been a democracy. I would say after the Jim Crow era, after the end of segregation, maybe. Um, yeah, definitely not. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to finish putting on my makeup. Yeah, yeah. Oh no, you're right, Alan. For some reason, Alan, I paused. I'm like, wait a minute. You're right. That argument does make sense. Yeah, you're right. Not a democracy. Okay. Um. There we go. I'm sorry, folks. I can't see the chat at the moment. Let me finish putting on the makeup because I'm taking forever, and I don't want to disappoint Matt Saigai. Uh, Another person in this chat I love dearly. Okay. I agree. Oh, totally weird amorphous blob. Totally. Reconstruction. All right. All right. Okay. There we go. Okay, I think the eyes are okay now. All right, almost done, folks. So, let me try to find if there's something else I can show you all while I'm finishing up the makeup here. Thank you, Matt Saigai. Okay. I wanted to very briefly, we can keep talking about the Gaza stuff, but up here on the screen, Japan might actually elect its first female prime minister in history, which I thought was interesting. Just a little side note there. We still haven't managed to do that in the United States. So, um, uh, what do you think I'm doing, Tiago? I'm trying to sow confusion. Okay. Last thing here, I'll put some on the mouth. Oh, what color should I put on the mouth? Well, I'm leaning towards gold. We'll put some gold on the mouth. Okay. All right. So gold, Tiago. I said gold. I'm putting gold on the mouth. Sorry, folks. I know I'm being quiet. I'm trying to focus because I've been taking forever to put this on. Uh, Victoria, Palestine's situation in terms of political parties and choices are scarce, but I feel uh, uh, they're scarce, but I feel that's common in a lot of countries, just like in the U.S. and Brazil. The opposition has a lot of work to do. Absolutely, Toya, Toya, Toya. Absolutely. And again, folks, like in the end, they need to decide. They need to decide. God, please let them decide. Okay. Because they, Jesus Christ, how long has their independence struggle been going on? They're human beings. They need to make their own decisions. I kind of like that look. I kind of like it. Okay. I'm going to do one last little bit here. Real clowns wear bronzer. How dare you, Death Die today? Okay. I'm going to do a little green here at the top, and then I'll be done. Yep, you're right, Luke. Okay, we're done. All right, finally. Glasses back on. Okay, there we go. I guess the mouth looks kind of yellowy goldy. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. So, are the makeup colors you use biocompatible? Uh so here's the thing. Some of the colors stain my skin and it's very hard to get off. So I don't know. It might not be. I might have lead in it or something. Okay, I don't know. Okay. Let me see here. Toy was making a statement and I missed it. I feel like yeah, okay, anyway, okay. You put well, okay, Tiago, read that she disputes the war. Oh, is that so? I'm not surprised, Alan. Almost all the Japanese PMs dispute the war crimes of Imperial Japan. But Alan, I'm so proud of you for actually seeing that and looking it up. Okay, I feel like I take credit for that, Alan. Okay. Yeah, it's really frustrating. Luke, I love gold. I love gold. Okay. Um, Hamas was trying to break. Yep. You're right, Luke. There. Uh, that's fair, Matt Saigai. And honestly, I should be more careful about it. Because uh, yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Oh well, we'll find out. If I start dying or something, we'll know. Okay. Okay, guys. So shall we do? Do you want to do? Shall I do some Discord reactions? Uh, I'm thinking I'll stream for like 30 more minutes. Of course, if we get what 20 like $20 or 5 more super chats, I will do an extra stream later. But let's see what we got here in the Discord to react to, okay? One is yeah, Jonas. Oh my god, Jonas, you're right on there, Jonas, today. I was about to say that and then I lost my train of thought. Jonas, just a reminder, folks, there have been several Muslim countries that have already had female heads of state. And by the way, a lot of Muslims countries' legislatures, like Indonesia and such, have a much higher percentage of women in their parliaments than America ever has. And what group on the planet is always that are people always screaming about, saying that they're misogynistic and sexist and stuff? Okay, like, all right, just saying, just saying. All right. Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, let's look at that real fast. So we'll look at this Gaza thing real fast here. Alan, did you posted it in reactions, Alan? All right. Oh, okay. Before that, Alan, Yaha posted. I believe
As
that's
a Sufi
Jonas.
Muslim,
I am curious to see since we just talked about Christopher Hitchens, what does Christopher Hitchens say here about Islam? Let me pull this up. Okay. You linked it in chat. I will take a look there, Alan. So we'll just see this real fast. Okay.
I'm very ruffled by the title of your book. Did you have to settle for the literal negation of Allahu Akbar?
Yes. I thought so. Thank you for that question. Thank you. At the moment, it's very clear to me the most toxic form that religion takes is the Islamic form. The horrible.
See, and that's my point, right? When asked what's the most toxic form religion takes, if your answer is Islam, there's something wrong there. You have some sort of deep-seated problem. So like Jonas, don't say that, Jonas, okay? Yeah, right, weird amorphous blob. So, okay. So just like you see that is you can see the bias there. There you go. Trump death died today. Like, yeah, absolutely, death died today. The most toxic. So every religion has fundamentalists. And yeah, Christians do. We have something called the Ku Klux Klan. Um, uh, okay, we got Buddhists have folks that will actually go after uh Hindus and things like that. Um, uh, things like that. Okay. Like there's Hindu nationalists. All right. And by the way, terrorism is a weapon of the weak. So, this association between Islam and terrorism, what region of the world has been the most occupied, abused, one of the regions of the world, mistreated, and things like that by foreign military powers that are much more powerful? Uh, there have been a lot of quote unquote terrorist attacks in the Middle East, but that's a weapon of the weak when you are an oppressed people. That has nothing to do with Islam. You see what I mean? And by the way, there's terrorist attacks everywhere in the United States and such that are not done by Muslims. Mostly it's done by right-wing people. Um, yeah. Okay, Alan, I think I've said this before, like some of my greatest friends and stuff in my life have been Muslims, and they're some of the best people I know. Okay. The fact that it's so gross how he specifically calls out Islam like that. It really reveals a bias. Um, So yeah, thank you for that, Jonas. That is a very uh, legitimate. I mean, that kind of proves the point there.
The idea of wanting to end up with Sharia, the state of religious law, and that the best means of getting there is jihad, holy war, and that Muslims have a
Folks, okay, the word jihad. I know I'm probably preaching to the choir. I know there are Muslims in here. I know there are people who have loved ones who are Muslim. Okay, jihad basically means struggle, right? Um, yeah, and it is not automatically a violent thing at all. Okay? Like there you go, Alan. Okay, it does not yeah, it can mean violent struggle, but it does not typically um yeah, absolutely, Jonas. Yeah. So, first of all, jihad again does not mean violence. It can, but it is the word in Islam does not always mean violence. It's the same thing. There you go. Okay. Second, what Jonas says here, 100% Jonas. Religion is secondary to political radicalization, economic radicalization. When people are being abused economically or politically, oftentimes religion will be will be added into that. But that is not the reason for it. It is political and economic radicalization that is then sort of given a religious cover. That happens everywhere. You can justify political or economic violence with any religion. Okay. So, like, there are Christians who justify their religious and economic violence with Christian ideas. You see what I mean? You can do it anywhere. Okay. Uh, right. Weirdomorphous blob, right? That idea, weirdomorphous blob, that idea that Muslims want their like Sharia law, Sharia law. Yeah, as if Christians have never done that, right? As if Christians aren't all like everywhere trying to get their shit enacted in law. Okay. Like, okay, anyway, so you all see what I'm saying here, okay? Um, yeah, the Crusades, right? Yeah. Yeah, if you want to talk about quote unquote jihad, what were the damn Crusades? I mean, like, okay. So anyway, you all see what I'm saying here, all right? And of well, what right exactly? Globalize the Intifada, have a global struggle that is not like the whole Intifada thing. It means uprising, right? Like it's not anyway. You all know this. I don't know. I shouldn't be emphasizing this shit. Okay. All right. Yeah. Carlitos, I agree. But Carlitos, I will also say this, Carlitos, and I'm saying this as an atheist. Atheistic governments can justify their violence through atheistic ideologies. I can give you an example of that. Okay, a lot of the Stalin's Soviet Union, Stalinists. I'm not trying to conflate Stalinism with the Soviet Union, but Stalinist violence was oftentimes reinforced with an atheistic vision of communist revolution and things like that. Religion does provide a pretty easy source for that, but you can kind of uh, yeah, that's fair, Carlitos. You can religion makes it easier, but in some ways, but there can also be I guess you could call it atheistic, nationalistic, non-religious forms of radicalization. Um, yeah, no, you're right. I'm sorry. I should frame it that way, Carlitos. Uh, Things that are not based in religion can also justify. It's not like atheism itself justifies it. Okay. But yeah, that's a fair point. Okay. But you see what I mean, Carlitos? Like nationalism is a non-religious ideology. Um, yeah, Alan, 100%. The conflict in Israel and Palestine. Folks, exactly. I can. Let me explain something too here. Okay. Um. Uh. Uh. Okay. Weird amorphous blob. I disagree with you a little bit on that. Stalin himself was just extremely paranoid. I mean, he had a mental issue going on there. It's very obvious he was just kind of very paranoid. And he famously said that, they tried to justify this violence as an attempt to save the revolution. They would do propaganda to that extent. But it was really just in his head. He was extremely paranoid. Like, like he did things that were very bad for the Soviet Union. Like he purged all the top most experienced military officers in the Soviet military right before the Nazis invaded. And it was largely his own yeah, he was a sadist too. A lot of that uh yeah, no, that is a very good point, weird amorphous blob. But you would say too that a lot of that fervor was based off of not, I wouldn't say nationalistic, but sort of um a communist. I'm having trouble finding a good word here. A secular view of the world, right? But yeah, you're right. I did oversimplify a bit. Okay. Um. But yeah, fair. Okay. Totally. Totally. People back in the day made horrible decisions. And I'm glad we developed and evolved from then. Absolutely, Jonas. I wish we would have evolved more from it. Oh, I know, right, Jonas? Yeah, the Spanish Inquisition. Don't even get me started, Jonas. You're totally right. Yeah, okay. And I will say, guys, and I'm not trying to pinpoint anyone. People who follow Islam have been violent in the past. Some of the early Islamic conquests were just that. They were conquests. They were violent. That is not because of Islam. That is what empires do. Empires are violent. They do these things. Christian empires are violent. Muslim empires are violent. Hindu empires are violent. So quote unquote atheistic empires are violent. Okay. So again, we like to cherry pick and to be like, well, this one is fundamentally more violent because of religion. Okay, I was just saying that fervor is often de-emphasized. No, that is true. Yeah, that is a fair point too. I know you're very educated on this weird amorphous blob. But yeah, that is fair. Okay. Um. Thank you, Sama Farag. Yeah, thank you. Welcome to chat here. Right, it's not an Islamic thing, right? Like it's a human issue, and it just happens that some of those humans are Muslims. So again, you see what I mean? Okay, I think you all get it. All right. I know I've been kind of on a rant here about the religion stuff. I'm sorry. Let's finish this real fast. I know I've been ranting for a while now. Okay. Let's watch this.
Special right to feel aggrieved enough to demand this, I think, is an absolute obscene wickedness, and I think their religion is nonsense.
Disgusting.
God speaks to some illiterate merchant.
Okay. Yeah. See, this is gross. I don't even know if I want to continue with what he's saying here. You get it. He clearly has some Islamophobia going on, right? He's saying it's worse. How is it? How is that idea worse than like the Christian idea? It's not. Anyway, he just seems to have a very Islamophobic undertone, right? Okay, we get it. Thank you for that, Jonas. Yeah, absolutely, guys, and yeah, that's Alan. Like, you have to understand, there's like billions. There are billions of Muslims in the world. Are we suggesting that all of those billions of people are like bloodthirsty terrorists or something? Because in my personal experience, the vast majority of Muslims I've known in my personal life have been absolutely tremendous people. They're human beings. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So let us quickly. Yeah, he really was nuts, Jonas. Like a lot of historians would agree, he was extremely paranoid. Stalin was like, and a lot of times we like to claim. A lot of people try to conflate Stalinism with like communism. But you have to understand, a lot of Stalin's violence was kind of unique to him because he really was kind of a lunatic. Like, if you look at his mental state, a lot of it was pretty batshit crazy. Okay, I don't know how else to phrase it. All right. So let me see what else here we have to react to here in the Discord. Uh, all right. What do we got here? So okay. So I see this one here. Tiago, I'm sorry. I'm gonna skip yours for now just because I want to find a shorter one since I'm gonna be getting off in a few minutes here. Um, but I will watch it at some point, Tiago. Forgive me. I also see the Tylenol one. Thank you for that. Let's find a short one to watch. Uh, let's watch this one here. I don't know who sent this.
Child labor.
Okay, we saw some of this guy earlier. Okay. All right. So let's watch this real fast. This is when capitalism defended child labor with Ha Jun Chang. So, uh, let's watch it. And yeah, that's a good point, Luke. Also, after Stalin was around, um, uh, yeah, and I will say, weird amorphous blob, that de-Stalinization, there were some power dynamics there too. Absolutely. Um, but also, a lot of people in the Soviet Union really were not fans of Stalin right afterwards because they had lost family members to his purges and things like that. And so the new government was trying to kind of distance themselves. Um, was it Jonas? Oh, well, there you go, Jonas. Okay, this one's only at 2 minutes long. Let's watch it real fast. The name of it is "When Capitalism Defended Child Labor." Okay.
Banning child labor, there's a huge uproar amongst free market supporters. And believe me, this regulation was incredibly.
Yeah. Oh, you're totally. Yeah. Weird amorphous blob. Have you seen the movie Death of Stalin? Because it reveals that Khrushchev was responsible for a lot of shit, and then they kind of scapegoated Stalin and to hide their own crimes in a lot of ways. Okay, 100%. Yeah.
Kind of primitive. So they ban factory work for children up to the age of 9.
Isn't it good, Weird Amorphous Bulb? I thought it was
Between
funny.
10 and
That's just my
16,
opinion.
children could work, but only up to 12 hours a day. Yes. I mean, they were really going soft on these kids. Huh? And this was applied only to cotton factories, which was considered particularly harmful for the workers' health. Even then, free market supporters said, no,
100%,
this is
Jonas.
absolutely outrageous. This is undermining the sanctity of
Tiago, as I said, Tiago, I will watch yours like tomorrow. Forgive me, Tiago. This one's much shorter, and I was about to get off, so I'm not going to be able to watch yours today. I'm sorry to say. Okay, I know, but I will watch it, Tiago. It looks good. The one about the Neanderthals.
The idea of freedom of contract, which is the foundation of a free market. You know, these children want to work. These people want to employ them. What is the problem? Huh? Today, even the most ardent supporters of free market would not endorse this kind of idea. Huh?
Well,
and this example actually quite powerfully illustrates that, like beauty, freedom of the market is in the eyes of the beholder. Huh? So if you believe that children should have a childhood, have education, shouldn't have to work, yeah, then of course that you will think nothing of having regulation on child labor. If you didn't believe that, like those 19th century British free market supporters or many capitalists in developing countries today, you say that actually trying to regulate child labor is an infringement on the workings of a free market. Huh?
Yes. So, folks, we've actually seen a few states roll back child labor laws. Do you guys know about that? I can't remember which states it was, but there are a few states that have rolled back child labor laws and allowed even younger children to work, which is really disturbing and horrific. Okay. Yeah, Carlitos, when you're sending troops to clean minefields for tanks to get through, yeah, you don't give a shit. 100% Carlitos. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go now. All right. I also noticed, I feel like maybe I was ranting too much because we don't have many people on viewing right now. That's okay. It's fine though. Okay. I'm enjoying it. But I am very hungry. And I'm a pig, as you all know, a capitalist pig. So let me put my face back up here. Okay, guys. So thank you for everyone who came by today. We did not make enough for me to do a second stream tonight. And tomorrow is my weekly day off because I'm a good Christian. So I always take Sundays off. No, I just need a day off. Okay, so all right. So you all know what I'm about to say. Alan, that's a good note to end on. New Mexico became the first state to enact universal child care a couple of weeks ago. All right. Folks, thank you all for our chat today. Especially all the religion stuff. Thank you very much. That was very interesting. I will try to avoid talking too much about religion in the future. But since we're on it, might as well. Okay, everyone ready? Okay. You all know what I'm about to say. First of all, free Palestine, and let them control their own future. Those people deserve it. I mean, every human deserves it. They deserve it. Free Palestine. Second of all, never stop resisting. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. The easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves, and that includes when you watch me. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. See what other people are saying. Don't get caught in an information silo because the easiest way to resist is to think for yourselves. Thirdly, here, we're living in a fascist moment in this country, not only this country, but around the world. Fascism thrives in an environment where people have lost faith in their democratic institutions, okay? In order to change that, we need major reforms in this country and around the world. You cannot stand in the center. If you stand in the center, the fascists will walk all over you. Don't be a slug. Don't let the fascists walk all over you. You cannot stand in the center. We need major reforms. Lastly, on the wall behind me is a sword. The name of that sword is Chainbreaker. Chainbreaker has been passed down in my family for many years. It is thought to have been responsible for the death of 7 slave owners. Why do I have it back there? To remind everyone that our ancestors, not only here but around the world, have made some major sacrifices for some of the things they have today. Major sacrifices. We cannot let their sacrifices go to waste, folks. Please, please, please do not let their sacrifice go to waste. And always, always, always fight for a better future. And on that note, folks, you all have a good rest of your Saturday, okay? Keep thinking critically. You're all very smart out there, okay? Have a good rest of your day.